Let's be here. Let's get to it. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. Back at it. Got another short one here for you guys. Oh shit, I figured I've been having my hair back. Bam, 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 bam. Here we go. Let's talk about it, guys. Welcome. It's a pleasure having you guys in. If this is your first time, welcome. If, you're returning, welcome back. You already know you're right at home, baby. You know what you went for. On this channel, we talk about spirituality. And in so many words, we say that spiritual, for you to be a spiritual being having a human experience, you have to embrace that spiritual side of you. And that spiritual side of you is the side of you that you do not touch. It's not the physical side of you, right? So that is the unknown. And pretty much as a spiritualist or an occultist, what we do, we dive into the part that we don't see because we understand that part of us is what rules the life, what we're looking at. The subconscious mind, your habits, your attitudes, and things like that. So that's pretty much why I can't dissociate spirituality from this life. Do you see what I'm saying? So now I talk about, the ego, the fake self, and the true self. And I've been giving out tips on how to align yourself to your true self. And the last tip that I actually gave out was about, accepting yourself. So, in so many words, what I'm also talking about is pretty much self esteem, right? Right? Because you can't have any type of esteem, if we're referring to self esteem, without the self. You see what I'm saying? And for you to be talking about the self, so therefore you got to align yourself. So, we got to talk about your core values. What makes you the person that you are? Do you see what I'm saying? So, but we also understand that you've been pretty much fucked, you know, based on the way you were raised, your upbringing, your emotional patterns, and also that image that we all live by instead of living by the true self. And we also talk about the effect of living, by living, or I mean, the effect of living by the false self. You want to be perfect. It's competition. It's all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But align yourself with your true self is totally different because now you're not looking to please anybody. Do you see what I'm saying? And in so many words, that's where true pleasure, true satisfaction comes from. Now you can also get some pleasure out of your false self too. Like especially if you're in the spotlight, everybody's looking at you, or everybody wants to be like you, and things like that. But at the end of the day, nobody really gives a fuck. And that's what a lot of artists too had discovered or had to learn the hard way. When the light shuts off, everybody's looking for themselves. Do you see what I'm saying? So even though we go by the fixed self, right? And in so many words, us going it's so chaotic, right? So you're going by your fixed self, and nobody really gives a fuck, but yet they give a. I don't know. I think there's a simple way. There's a much simpler way you could do things. You see what I'm saying? And in so many words, that's what spirituality is all about because you can't become spiritual without aligning to your true self. So the reason why I talk about the fake self and the true self a lot is only because I understand, that is the transition to your higher self, or for lack of better terms, your true self. But for you to do that, you got to see things a certain way. You got to act a certain way, right? So we're also saying that, you have to have a bigger picture. You got to become cosmic in a sense of expanding your consciousness. It's got to go beyond the things that you're looking at. It's got to go beyond, the things that you're hearing, and also goes beyond the things that are being said. And pretty much that's what is that called? That's pretty much the meaning of the Three Little Monkeys. You know how you got said, see no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil. Pretty much, I mean, I guess you could say that's what it means. But for me personally, I take it in a whole different way. Do you see what I'm saying? Because that's how we move down here, being a spiritual person and understanding Maya, which is Earth, the world that we're living in, which is a world of illusion, meaning that things are not the way you see them. What you think you're looking at, that's not what it is. And quantum physics actually came out to let you guys know what you call object or anything physical, it's not truly physical. And there's a gentleman that had a book. Oh, that book was pretty good, and I think I talk about it too. I can't recall the name of that book for the life of me. I read it a long time ago too, to be honest. But we kept the file. You know what I'm saying? If I'm looking for it, I'll definitely find it. But essentially, what he was talking about, even in your body, right? So me sitting here, even if you're sitting at a table eating, at a certain point, you forget about your body. You're no longer conscious at your body. Or if you're sitting down and you hear a sound or a noise, you automatically jump. Now he's trying to pretty much scientifically explain, what the occultists already know is that, maybe your body, in so many words, it's not what you think it is. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it's like you pretty much got to bring focus or consciousness to your body for you to be here. And in so many words, that's how being grounded is too. Right? You got to ground yourself. People are always saying that is because there are certain things that's happening in your body. Again, it's not as you think it is. So consciousness is your true self. Do you see what I'm saying? Anyway, let's fast forward. So the tip that I have for you guys tonight is, the last time I talk about, accepting yourself. Now you have to approve of yourself. You got to approve yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole aligning you to yourself, to your true self, or for you to become, or to that other aspect of yourself, is it starts with, you knowing yourself. Not just knowing yourself, but also doing the things that satisfies you. And when you start doing things like that, there's no competition anymore. You tend to see things differently. Then you understand, that, just like I was saying, like, I don't judge people, not because I think I'm better than anybody. I don't judge people just only because I understand. Like that saying that says, if you don't know how stupid you used to be, you're probably still stupid. Meaning, if you don't have that realization about yourself and you kept operating on however you operate, and that's what a lot of people are doing. That's how they keep repeating the cycles, right? Those cycles are being repeated because you're not conscious of it. And once you see it, you cannot see it, baby. And I'm just trying to give you that sight. Oh, yeah, we're bringing sight to the blinds, man. That's what we're doing in so many words. So, approving yourself and knowing yourself too. So, here's what I also wanted to talk about too. Now, once you align with yourself, listen, you can't be touched. You cannot be touched once you truly align yourself with yourself. Even if somebody's trying to hurt you, but you understand, like, that has nothing to do with you. It's that person. Somebody that do you bad, it's only revealing themselves. Has nothing to do with you, dude. But for you to know that, that's where the self-esteem comes in. You got to be approved of yourself. In so many words, and by being approving to yourself, not just being aligning to your true self, but approving yourself, having a high self-esteem. Now hey, listen, man, that shit got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, you respectfully remove yourself, and keep doing your thing. Because that's showing, I'm saying all of this to say, because that goes a long way. and this is also part of self-esteem. So the tip that I also want to talk about is not just approving yourself, but I'm giving you a little bit of crumbles for you to get to yourself, for you to embrace yourself. But for you to do that, you have to be in touch with those many aspects of yourself, which is doing the things that you want, and then having the self-esteem, approving yourself, and being aligned with who you truly are. And we also say, and I also say, I mean, since I'm the one, well, I mean, because I got the WrestleMania team with me, you know what I'm saying? The guides, the spirits, that would be a whole different story because you have your invisible helpers too. You know what I'm saying? But you can only start seeing things that way or step into that type of life when you embrace yourself. And that's what the occultist does in so many words. We dive into that other side of ourselves that we don't see. And as we're doing so, and that's how we get to travel and talk to other entities and, your spirit guides and things like that, then that's a whole different life. That's a whole different life, baby. Look here, man. Look here. I love it, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And also being aligning with yourself too and being cosmic too. Now, I know for me personally, I'm able to talk to people who has actually transitioned. That's how I know there's no death. And that's what I was talking about in so many words. When you look at death on the outward, I mean, in the outside, for you or for most people, it is the end. But when you go in, it is simply transformation. Again, what the caterpillar calls death, I call it a butterfly. You do too. You probably don't even know. So every time you look at a butterfly, nigga, shit, that was a caterpillar that died and transformed. So I'm saying this to say, aligning to yourself, you have to approve yourself. Again, it's not one thing that's gonna take you there. It's just a combination of different things. Just as the false self, when I talk about, the toxic shame that you have as a child, your caregiver telling you that you're not good. Now okay, for you to be good, you cannot be yourself. So there are so many different aspects of that, of these things that, help you to build that false self. And it's also the same thing with you aligning to your true self. You're just going to have to flip the game around. But for you to do that, you got to be conscious. And in so many words, I talk about how, you're being born again, right? But anyway, I've talked about all of that in the past. But what I want to concentrate or talk about is approving yourself, right? Because a lot of us, we're looking for other people to approve us. And that's where, in so many words, I mean, I'm sort of like repeating myself, but it's all connected. Or, I mean, it is all connected, but most importantly, it's different aspect of it that you have to become conscious of for you to truly align with yourself. So we're just we're getting surgical here. You know what I'm saying? We're getting down to the get down, baby. Get down to the get down, right? So for you to improve yourself, so if you follow the tips that I previously give you, then it should somehow put you in a great area. Now you have a different, way of looking at things. Are you a little more conscious of what's happening? Hold up a second, play. Let me get my shit. Mm-hmm. Mm. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. So approving yourself. So after you follow pretty much everything that I said or that we shared, you're gonna have to approve yourself. Approving yourself, that's gonna empower you. And we're talking about internal power here. not the type of power that you're trying to make yourself feel better by controlling other people. That is not true power. That's pretty much a weakness that you're trying to hide from. There's a lot of weak people, man. They hide behind the false self. Because again, as we talked about, going by the fake self, you cannot love anybody. It's not going to happen. Because for you to love anybody, you got to become, well, weak, vulnerable. You see what I'm saying? And you're going to feel weak. Well, I mean, that's because you are. But when you know what you're doing, you understand it's actually your strength because that's you putting yourself out there. Now, understand now, once you put yourself out there, and that's where a lot of us, you know, in our early childhood created that false self now to masquerade or to protect that, because certain people didn't accept you as you were. And again, you got to understand, man, that has nothing to do with you. That's when you have to approve yourself. That's when approving yourself comes in. If somebody do you bad, man, it had nothing to do with you, King or Queen, whoever the fuck you are. You know what I'm saying? Had nothing to do with you. That's them. Entirely them. Do you see what I'm saying? Because only weak people try to hurt other people. As far as I know. You know, as far as I know. I've never seen any true spiritual person, trying to put some other people down. I've never seen that. I've never heard of it. I've never seen it. If you have, please let a nigga know. Listen, yeah, that's how comfortable I am. I could be wrong too. I could learn something from you motherfuckers. Why the fuck not? The teacher is also a fucking student. Just like me right now, I am a dad, but I'm also a son. I'm somebody's son. You see what I'm saying? So we are all of it. And here's something else too. I'm glad that I said that because this is also for you to expand your consciousness, for you to align to your true self, understanding that you're more than just one aspect of yourself. Because that little kid that I was, now I'm also a father. When these motherfuckers call me your dad, I'm like, nigga, who would call him dad? But I get it. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Don't be saying that shit out, you know what I'm saying, public, nigga. Fucking up my reputation. No, but I embrace all of it. But I'm saying all of that. It was a little bit of a joke, niggas. Relax. You know what I'm saying? I love these niggas. I love them to death, man. Uh-huh. You have no ideas, man. You know what I'm saying? And here's something else too. They add values to me too, man. Anyway, we're not here to talk about, you know what I'm saying? They said daddy's daycare. We're not here to talk about that. But I'm just saying all of this to say, not only that there are different aspects of you, but as you are aligning to yourself, right? Or as trying to align yourself to your true self, there's gonna be, you need to develop, and that's the only way you're gonna develop true self-esteem. Because a lot of people, living life, it's not about going through life without no fucking challenges. No, nigga. You don't grow without challenges. So a lot of motherfuckers be praying for them not to. No, you gotta learn how to pray too, nigga. You don't pray not to have challenges. No, you pray to have the strength to overcome it. Because by you overcoming whatever the fuck you're going through, that's where the growth is, nigga. That's where your transformation comes in. That's when you get to build character. You know what I'm saying? But if you're being a coward about it, that's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? This is for the strongs, nigga. You know what I mean? This is for the strong, for the true players. You know what I'm saying? This is for the true players. So approving of yourself plays a big part in helping you to align with yourself because now you're not looking for approval from other people. You see what I'm saying? Now, because you also got to remember the whole you operating, based on external bullshit was because you're looking to please other people that you were taught as a fucking kid. You know, your caregivers, your parents, school, society, and all that shit. It's fucking you up. You see what I'm saying? So it has to do with the type of food that you're actually eating. It's that shit that's fucking you up. You know what I'm saying? You gotta eat healthy, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, you gotta eat something else. You know what I'm saying? But again, approving yourself, it's a big key to align yourself because in so many words we're talking about self-esteem here. Accepting yourself, approving yourself. And you can't how do you have self-esteem when the self is not the center of if the self is not the focus? Do you see what I'm saying? So understand this. You operate from either your fake self or your true self. When you operate from your true self, pretty much you look for external shit. Do you see what I'm saying? That's when you're looking for your 6 foot tall niggas. That's what you're looking for. I don't know. What else you motherfuckers are looking for? 6 foot tall, high values, in quotation, because it's not really values. You're talking about possession here. But you want to talk about values, well, talk about love. Do you love the motherfucker? Okay. Can he raise your child? And if he, do you see what I'm saying? It's a whole different conversation. So even when I'm listening to people talking about love, it's like they're not even talking about love. How do I get somebody? Okay. Well, I don't know. There's so many things you could do, man. There's so many things you could do. You know what I'm saying? But none of them, and I listened to it too. I was listening to Kevin Samuels, man. Yo, listen, I was cracking up so motherfucking hard. It's like, I'm like, nobody's asking, nobody's looking for nothing. There's no, there's no values in what they're looking for. But I get it because they are operating from their fake self. And the whole, yeah, I'm not even gonna get into that because hey, that shit. I'll let Kevin Samuel handle that shit. The whole feminist shit that's happening right now, and like for me, it took me a minute for me to realize that shit because I kind of like went into my hermit mode, right? So pretty much studying, standing to myself, and for a very long time, and then now, I'm like, okay, let me check out, what I'm saying, let me see what's outside, you know what I'm saying, and like what, yo, the number of low self esteem women, and I'm like, what is that? What's out there? And they got the nerve to call themselves queens. That's the part that kills me. But anyway, all of this, it's relating to what we're talking about here because spirituality is you have to actualize that into your life. But most importantly, when we talk about spirituality, again, as I stated before, mainly has to do with your internal core values. Do you see what I'm saying? And once you start going in, now you're looking at life on a whole different plane. You would understand somebody else because you know what it takes for you to get there or for you to transform. Do you see what I'm saying? And just like I tell people, when I don't judge, I'm not trying to be a nice guy. Fuck that. Shit. I don't give a fuck about being nice. Even though it is the end result, but not because I'm looking for it. But it's because I went in and understand. Then I have compassion. That's why a lot of people, that's the difference between someone who's a true spiritual person and somebody who's I don't know, moralist or who goes by moral values. Because they're talking about something that they're not. And that's why you'll see a lot of these people who sound perfect, but they're fucking evil as fuck. The motherfuckers that would not use profanity. All these niggas. They would not say the word nigga. They would say none of that shit. You know, my educated people. You know what I'm saying? The Bill Cosbys, all of these niggas. Because they're not aligned. They're looking, they're attached to a fucking image. There's no self esteem. They sound good. Oh, they sound good like a motherfucker. And those are the people you need to watch out for. But anyway, I mean, but again, I'm glad that I'm also talking about that because it relates to what we're talking about here. Because the purpose of you aligning with yourself, it's that's how you truly become not just who you are, but godlike too, full of compassion and truly good looking. You know what I'm saying? You tell me what side I like better on. I look better on. Is it this one? No, is it that one? You know, but again, but me doing that or me being that way, it's not to, show off or to project that image. What you see is it's who it is, nigga. Listen, man, we stand on sacred ground, man. This is different. This is different. You know, for you to get there, you got to know how to get there, though. Do you see the riddle? How do you get there if you don't know how to get there? That's why you when you know you know. Do you see what I'm saying? Oh, it's not fair, huh? See you going like, oh no, that shit ain't fair. But anyway, I'm saying all of this to say you have to approve yourself and approving yourself. And I'm using so many different examples because when you actualize, when you're approving yourself, meaning in this life, I don't give a fuck. Again, like I said, if somebody hurts you, what that has to do with me? Because I didn't hurt you, you hurt me, or try to hurt me, I should say. Or not just me, I'm just saying in general, is anybody trying to hurt you too. And that's what happens with a lot of you guys, and that's when you start creating that false self. Because now you're not approving yourself, not standing for yourself, allowing somebody else to make you feel different than who you are because they already feel weak. I mean, we're not even going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? Let's focus on you, right? But you got to understand where they're coming from, though. And that's what happens to a lot of us. So when we get disappointed in life, then that's how we start, using external shit to protect ourselves. And then now we're living a lie. That's why I mean I see people, and you can't be aligned with your true self that way because now you're operating on a fixed self, which is fear based, right? And there's no growth. How do you build character? You're just another, just another one of them. Just another one. You're just another one. Do you see what I'm saying? So, approving yourself is very important. It's extremely important because by you doing so, not only that, that's how you build your self esteem, but you also got to understand, like, what I'm talking about here, because I also notice people with fake knowledge, they're using self esteem, I mean, using material shit. That's the fake self. And that's what a lot of spiritual masters are pretty much telling you to be aware of. And they call it ego. You see what I'm saying? But again, not to go back to the ego shit, that is not your ego. But I get it. I get it, niggas. I fucking get it. Get it. Hold up, hold up. hmm You know. So therefore, for you to operate or to align yourself with your true self, there are many aspects that you have to be aware of. And that's where I'm giving you those tips for you to be aware of not just the tips about how to identify the fake self. Because either way, I mean, how that shit goes, to a good writer, going right or left doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. If you're writing the motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? You on top of your game, either way, there's no right or wrong, right? So we technically knowing about the true self, would allow you to align with your true self. And also understanding the fake self will definitely align you with your true self too. But in the process, in the journey, you have to start approving yourself. Not just accepting it, but you gotta approve it. Because now you're not operating from the fixed self, which in the past was technically to please other people. In so many words, looking for other people's approval, you know? So, which has nothing to do with the self, and that approval that you're looking for is based on this image that you're living by. So, that's the tip for the night. Oh, shit, 31 minute. You know what I'm saying? You already know, lay speed, that's what we do. Aishen, bravo, Ali.